Meet Serena, your virtual companion for emotional support. The ultimate safe space to discuss your thoughts, your fears, and the ups and downs of daily life. Start your free trial today at serena.chat.
Am I the asshole for threatening not to walk the dogs with my partner anymore? I, 36F, recently moved in with my partner, 39M, who is an incredible and amazing person. I have a small dog, McBite, and he has a big strong dog, Sir Barks Too Much, names changed to protect the parties. We went on a walk and my partner's dog Sir Barks Too Much started to poop on someone else's lawn, several houses down from ours. I told my partner not to let Sir Barks Too Much poop on someone else's lawn. My partner responds with, "It's fine, I'm going to pick it up." I tell him it's still rude and to please pull the dog on the other side of sidewalk. He gets a little bit irritated and that is kinda of the end of the issue. A few days later, we go for a walk again. And about 3 houses down Sir Barks Too Much starts to poop in the middle of someone else's lawn. Me. Dude, don't let him poop there. Move him. Him. It's fine. Me. It's not fine, move him. Him. What do you want me to do, he's already going. He's strong. But he's not really making an effort to move him. Just then, the owner of the house pulls up to the house. Me. I'm serious. Don't let him poop there. The owners are arriving and I don't want to get yelled at. Him. Getting yelled at is the least of my worries, I'm going to pick it up. Thankfully, the neighbor doesn't say anything and we continue our walk. But Sir Barks Too Much still had more to give. A couple houses down, he starts to go again on someone else's lawn. Me. Man, don't let him do that. Him. What do you want me to do? Exclamation mark quote. Me. Don't even let him walk on that side of the sidewalk. Guide him to the other side that isn't someone's lawn. My partner ignores me at this point, so I tell him, if you're going to let him shit on our neighbors' lawns, I'm not going to walk the dogs with you anymore. We have to live here and I don't want to get yelled at. My partner gets very mad and says that I am threatening not to walk the dogs with him anymore, and that I'm being manipulative. I didn't respond and just let it go. But it's been 2 days and I'm still thinking about it. Am I the asshole here? Edit. Thank you to everyone who responded. Except for the person who gave an incredibly sexist answer. Especially those who thought I was wrong. It helped me understand my partner's side a bit better. I spoke to my partner and he agrees that it's not ideal to have Sir Barks Too Much poop on the neighbors' lawns because we don't want to have to live near a hostile person. As a couple suggested, we are going to walk them along our own lawn a couple times to get them to go to the bathroom before continuing the walk. I am also going to take an active role in training Sir Barks Too Much to walk on the other side of me. Either way, here is a little more frequently asked questions. 1. Big dog equals big poop, and nasty as hell. Sir Barks Too Much has a sensitive stomach and about half the time, the poop is not easily removed. Leaving a visible streak on the grass. Usually, towards the middle of the lawn because we use a bungee leash that we can wear around our waists, it gives the pup a little space to poop. 2. To all those sexist Redditors out there, it's not his house. We moved into our brand new house, in a brand new community. I didn't move in Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa house, but even if I did, I wouldn't think that would rob me of my opinion. 3. We live in suburbia. There is a sidewalk and on the other side of the sidewalk, there is 3 feet of grass, no plants, that is maintained by our WA. Each house has a Ring camera. Some of the houses have it programmed to say, "Attention, you are on camera," when you walk by. Within 10-15 houses there is a grass area and a park. 4. It is absolutely possible to train the dog to poop on the other side of the sidewalk. I trained McBite to do this. 5. I love my partner and both the dogs. I am not choosing my neighbors over them. I have lived in a crappy neighbor situation that arose from a trash bin placement issue. It made it difficult to go outside, have people over or even leave my house. I do not want to live near a problem neighbor, or be that problem neighbor. Thanks again everyone. You are the asshole. He's picking it up and unless Sir Barks Too Much is having the runs, there's not going to be much to worry about. My dog gets weird and will refuse to go if you interrupt her mid-deuce. How would you like it if you're constantly being made to pinch it off for propriety? Plus, if a neighbor actually gets pissed, you apologize, like an adult and then make sure the dog doesn't go there again. But most likely he's pooping there because he smells other animals. I love everyone on here acting like there's not feces particles just about everywhere, especially on their phones they bring into the bathroom with them. Not the asshole. When my husband and I walk our dog in our neighborhood, we stay off the lawns. I agree with you that it's rude. A park might be a better option for your walks, so your husband can let them sniff and explore as they wish. Lots of bad dog owners in this thread. Can't even deal with the basics of training their dog. Not the asshole, and I hate it that dog owners just assume they and their animal can come all up on my property. Not the asshole, it is rude to do that to neighbors on the daily, when it's not that hard to guide your dog to walk on the other side. Am I the asshole for telling my wife she no longer has an excuse to not work? My wife and I had our first child 2 years ago, a beautiful little girl. My wife and I agreed that her being a SOM was worth it, and I can sustain the household on my income. I started to notice about a year in she was getting overwhelmed and asked what I could to help. She claimed to be fine, but I started to price around childcare options. Spoke with friends, family, and colleagues looking for any suggestions, recommendations, and resources. That is when my boss told me our job has childcare benefits. Awesome. I start the paperwork, get the approval, and got put on a wait list. I brought it up with my wife. We toured the place with our daughter. She loved it. About 4 months a spot opened up, and our daughter is now in daycare. It is run in the same office building I work at, so it is super convenient. I drop her off when I head to work and pick her up when I leave. Perfect. Here is where the issue arrives. My wife is not doing anything. We split the household chores. That is how it was in my family growing up, and I find cleaning and cooking relaxing. So I am fine with it. That being said, my wife has not done much with her day since our daughter started daycare. I understand adjustments take time. That being said, the original agreement was for her to be a SOM. With our daughter in daycare, not being rude, staying home to be a mom is not happening. I brought up the million-dollar question: when are you going back to work? This may have been a miscalculation on my part, but I figured I am in this deep, let's see it to the end. She gave me a glare of death and tried to change the subject. I kindly interjected, not trying to push you, but practically speaking, I told her that she has no excuse to not be working. This was my tactical error. She blew up. Thankfully, during this, daughter was at my parents' house, so she did hear or see the yelling. We went back and forth using the classic lines from both sides of the camp. She used the good husband provides the option for their wife to stay home. I said, if you want to be, then either watch our daughter or do the housework. Your being home is not a free pass to do nothing. She clapped back with, your coworkers' wives get to stay home and do nothing. I told her I agree, but they have cheated on their wives. Want me to start doing that? I am sure you piece together the rest. The comment about cheating was not a threat. She was using the fact the wives of my coworkers get to be home even though their kids are also in daycare. I pointed out that the husbands are cheating on them. My coworkers' situation is skewed. They have found it is more beneficial to stay together from the wives' side. We live in a state where spousal support has caps and does not matter how many years you were married before. Husbands stick around cause the status quo is just easier. It was just to state that is not the life she thinks it is. Edit. Please, it was not meant as a threat. She had envy of other families she knows and wanted what they had. I just told her the truth about what was hiding behind their walls. It was not me saying I would cheat, just me saying the life she is envying is not all sunshine and rainbows. The wives she sees are paying a price that she was unaware of, and I know she does not want to pay. She was also a software engineer. She was 100% on board, and I confirmed with her if she was okay with the daycare options, and if not, that is perfectly okay. She does not have any mental health issues I am aware of. I have suggested she does speak with her doctor, but that is something she has to do. I cannot force her. She did enjoy her line of work, or at the very least that is what she told me. I also agree with the things said did not have to be said and that it was not a proper way to handle the situation. Just wanted to clarify that I have no intention or thought of cheating. It was simply a response to her asking why she cannot have what she sees my coworkers' wives have. Not the asshole. She wants you to take on the 1950s role as sole provider for the family but finds the role of 1950s housewife insulting. She can't have her cake and eat it, too. She either does 80% plus of the household chores or she gets a job. NTA. Her saying that your coworkers' wives don't have to work. That's her saying the quiet part out loud. She didn't want to be a SOM, she just wanted to saw. Not the asshole. If she refuses to get a job, get out now. Info. What was her career before she became a SOM, and can she go back at doing that? Not the asshole, there is no excuse for her. She should either be working or doing all the housework while you're at work. Am I the asshole for being sad that my family cancelled my 30th birthday after a family member's death? It's a very sad story, unfortunately. My cousin who my whole family was really close with died because of cancer a few days ago. We know it would happen soon, but of course, it is a shock to everyone when it happens. My whole family is in grief and so am I. My 30th birthday is happening tomorrow. I live 2 hours from my family and the plan was to have a small garden party with my family and everyone who wants to join is welcome. Maybe 2 or 3 friends would have joined later that evening, but overall, it was just supposed to be a little get-together with my family and my partner's family as well. Nothing crazy, just a barbecue, or a cake and coffee. I thought it would be nice and easy for everyone, grandma, parents, my sisters plus kids. The funeral of my cousin is happening a day after. My mum called me on Monday to talk about my birthday. She told me that nobody is in party mood and nobody wants to celebrate. I was still very sad because I just heard the bad news a day ago. I told her that of course I wasn't in a party mood either, but it would just be a get-together. I told her that I'd ask my partner's family not to join this time, which wouldn't be a problem at all. In that moment on the phone I was already feeling a bit confused. I felt sad about my cousin but also a bit neglected at the same time. We ended the call, with my mother saying that the birthday is cancelled. She is grieving a lot. I haven't seen her like this in a long time. My cousin was her godchild. The next day my sister called to make sure the party, or get-together is being cancelled. She said I must understand and I should postpone it. I will be on vacation the next 2 weeks and in September I have a crazy work schedule, self-employed, without any capacity literally. So I just accepted it how it is, and said okay. I told her that I didn't want to celebrate my birthday anymore. I had everything arranged already and I just don't want to postpone it, I would just blow it off completely. So 2 days before my 30th birthday, which was really important to me, I needed to look for another plan. Ever since I can think, my birthdays were always sad. I was alone many times, wasn't allowed to celebrate as a kid, etc. So now as a grown-up I try to make myself a nice day, with loved ones. It makes me really sad that my family just cancelled altogether. Nobody said that I should still come home, and we just spend some time together as a family. That is what I really miss. I really hoped for someone saying, "Come home. Let's spend some time together as a family and have dinner or a glass of wine, also in honor of our cousin." I think these things can coexist. Celebration of life and mourning of a loved one. Instead I feel neglected and like my family doesn't care. The birthday is very important for me, but clearly not for them, and honestly it hurts me. I don't want to be that person that thinks the world revolves around her, but I feel very abandoned. And #X200B. Edit. Because some people didn't read my post thoroughly. I am going to my cousin's funeral without a doubt. I did not plan a huge celebration. My family is very down to earth and we usually just sit together and eat something. No fancy dinner, no music, no entertainment. It is very basic, so please don't portray me as a narcissist that insists on having a huge party to embrace myself. It is absolutely not what I wanted to do anyways. Also, my family initially wanted to have a party. It was their idea and not mine. They expected I planned something bigger already months ago, because that's what we usually do in my country. After I heard the news, it was clear to me that there won't be a big party, and I would have cancelled with my friends and my partner's family anyways. I thought that my inner circle will still come together. I never celebrate my birthdays in a big way. Not the asshole. Just celebrate with your partner and friends. I wouldn't include your family moving forward. They'll always look back on the death and you'll always feel like it will trump your b-day. 30 is a big milestone and deserves to be celebrated. Condolences to you and your family though. May your cousin rest in peace. No assholes here, everyone is grieving and there's not a wrong way to do it. It's just particularly unfortunate that your ways of grieving, wanting to isolate versus wanting to draw close, conflict with each other. Have you explained to any of your family that you want to be home to be near them in your shared grief, not to be center of attention, and that you don't expect any kind of fuss? They might not feel able to organize even a minimal celebration, and if they're superstitious at all they'd probably not want to combine your birthday with her wake. I lost my cousin to a pretty gruesome murder. He was only 20 and it was my 14th birthday a day before this happened. He was supposed to visit me and celebrate it together. We were pretty close. I have not celebrated a single birthday since then. I'm 27 now. My family never bothered, and it wasn't until I met my current group of friends that made me go on trips and cut the cake did I realize I really missed out of my birthday. It's still depressing as hell and I cry every year after all this time, but I wished someone had told me to celebrate or taken the time out to help me understand how important celebrating life is. It's unfortunate and you're not wrong for wanting your family to be a part of it. Not the asshole, may your cousin rest in peace. Not the asshole. This is a hard time for your entire family, but that doesn't mean their feelings trump yours. You have a right to feel disappointed too. Just do something for yourself this year when you get the chance. Not the asshole. Personally, I would absolutely rather my family and loved ones party after my death. But sadly that's not how most of them would want to process it. Everyone processes grief differently, and it's silly to assume otherwise. I would rather get together with loved ones and celebrate someone's life instead of a somber funeral. Now I don't know if I would do it 2 days after the death, but again everyone takes their own time. You're not the asshole for having your own preference for how you grieve, especially on a day that's also important to you. Am I the asshole for hiding my accent and lying about where I'm from? This whole thing still has my head spinning. So I, 24F, went to an event last month in New York with friends. While I was there, I really hit it off with this guy named Nick, 26M. He asked where I was from and if it was nearby, and I told him no, that I live hours away in a different state and told him which one. He told me he had some friends that lived in that state and it was about an hour from my town. He eventually asked for my number and if he could take me out. I said yes. After that we texted pretty often. He was still really cool and fun to talk to. Last weekend he finally came into my state to see his buddies and took me on a date. Everything was fine until we hit up a bar. There was a group of guys inside, and one of them spoke with a southern accent, specifically an accent sounding like it was from my birth state. Nick and I ended up next to the group at the bar while ordering drinks and I got the chance to speak to the guy. Turns out I have a decent ear, because he was from my birth state. We chat for a minute until my drink is out, and then I excuse myself and follow Nick across the room. For some background, I was born in the South. I spent most of my life in a suffocating small town. When I was 21, I leapt at the chance to move away and start over. I've never been happier. Even though I've only lived here for 3 years, I consider my time in the South to practically be a different lifetime altogether. I don't like to talk about it much, but I do miss the good things. I also never had a particularly heavy accent. People used to ask me all the time in high school if I'd transferred from up north or out west. After 3 years in NA, none of the locals ask me if I'm from the South anymore. It only really slips out if I talk to someone Southern. Anyway, Nick goes on to crack a joke about how I'm good at mimicking accents, and I asked him what he meant. He said I'd sounded just like that guy and I said sorry. I didn't realize my old accent had slipped out. He asked what I meant and I told him that originally I'm from the South. He starts getting mad at this point and asks why I never said that, then accuses me about lying and wasting his time. We got into an argument about whether or not I lied. I didn't, and I asked why it even mattered that I was born in the South. He told me he doesn't F with cowgirls, and that he thought I'd dropped out of college because I had real problems, and not because I was an undereducated redneck. He then told me to go hit up the guy at the bar because clearly I liked his company better and left me stranded at the bar with his tab to pay. It's been a few days and I'm still floored. He's blocked me on everything, so even if I wanted to talk to him about it or apologize or something, I can't. A couple of my friends think that he totally overreacted, but also agreed that I lied and in a way kind of led him on. I don't know what to think. Am I the asshole? Edit. This got more attention than I was expecting. Trying to keep up with comments, but I have to go into work now. I'm gonna leave this post alone for a while because it started to stress me out with some of things y'all are saying. Not the asshole. Don't expect dumbass bigots to make sense. You dodged a bullet. Why would you want to spend 1 minute trying to explain anything to this creep? It's great that you learned what a jerk he is right away and don't need to waste any time falling for him only to learn it later. Good riddance. Not the asshole. He told me he doesn't F with cowgirls, and that he thought I'd dropped out of college because I had real problems, and not because I was an undereducated redneck. He is an asshole. You are better off without him. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. But did you want a second date with this fella? Not the asshole. Not talking about where you are from or changing your accent is not the same as actual lying. Your past is your business and choosing not to disclose it is your choice. It's not like you were giving out different information than the truth, or trying to gain something by doing so. This guy has serious issues and it sounds like you dodged a bullet.